Keoua is concerned about the impending war against his cousin, despite the fact that he readily rejects Kupuohi's offer of peace. He learns from the encounter that Kamehameha now possesses the paleskin weaponry that once came dangerously close to destroying the kingdom of Hawaii. The fact that he no longer has the god of war in his arsenal only serves to confirm that his dominion will eventually fall. He thus turns to unfavorable means on the counsel of his prophetess. Keoua has previously stated that he is unconcerned about destroying his father's kingdom in order to construct his own from the ground up. Therefore, having exhausted all other options, he chooses to shake hands with his enemy's adversary. Keoua goes to Oahu to make Kahekili an offer. The latter king's goal is to eradicate the island's kingdom's royal lineage and create his own exclusive authority as the great king. Even his own people had started to question his rule because his ambition had grown to such a scary height. Nevertheless, Keoua offers his father's competitor a hand of friendship. He requests that Kahekili's men support Keoua's opposition to Kamehameha. He agrees to permanently avoid getting involved with his business in return. The monarch of Maui recognizes the potential for what it is. Hawaii would be simpler to conquer if he lets the two cousins weaken one another in an inbred battle. He so assigns Opunui, his most vicious fighter, to spearhead the attack on Kamehameha. However, as these kingdom conflicts come to a conclusion, the islands face a greater danger as a ship carrying even less hospitable paleskins approaches the Hawaii coastline. When Kamehameha and his council find the remains of their burned-out food storage, things unavoidably take a tense turn. Others are hesitant to draw conclusions, but Kaiana is certain that Keoua is responsible for the assault. However, his wife Kupuohi proposes an alternative plan in which he calls for war. She thinks she may persuade Keoua to stop his vindictive streak against Kamehameha and his area because she is the future king's cousin and a former cow chiefess. Kahekili gives her own vote of confidence even though her husband doesn't agree with her proposal. She thinks that if the districts can live in peace with one another, Hawaii will be able to present a more united face to its foes. The chief is forced to let Kupuohi carry out her task as a result. As a result, Kupuohi and Kaiana go to the cow district's boundaries, where Keoua performs for them. However, he insists that Kamehameha can only leave the fight by giving up the worshipped god of fight when his cousin attempts to bring up the topic of peace. The war-obsessed king doesn't change his mind, even when she tries to make it clear that Kahekili poses a real threat. He and Kaiana inevitably clash as the king berates the latter for embracing some aspects of the paleskin culture, such as their language, weapons, and attire. As a result, Keoua ultimately rejects the idea of a truce between the two districts, leaving Hawaii exposed for days to come. Thanks for watching. For more updates stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel please.